I'm Christina Phillips, Director of Client Service for Pesher. The most important things to remember is, number one, that there is a contract in place for all the work that they do and for every job that they do. Two is to read and understand what it is that they're agreeing between not only the original contract with their customer, but two, the agreement between themselves and their subcontractor that they need to have. Number three is that if they do engage a subcontractor, that the terms that they've agreed to in the original contract, that their contract equals that same thing if they have engaged a subcontractor. And lastly, probably the most important, is that they get a certificate of insurance from that subcontractor evidencing those coverages, because you want to make sure that the subcontractor is going to be responsible and has the insurance to support the work that they're doing for auto liability, general liability, and workers' compensation. Some things that get overlooked may include not having a contract in place to begin with, particularly in residential work. They may work off of a bid or a quote, and the person who hires you may not have hired you to do all of the work that you have quoted them for. So we want to see an actual contract or service agreement in place that clearly defines the work that you are doing, what the expectations are for you and from them, as well as what you may not be covering or what should be covered. Well, the first would be to review the contract very carefully. Have to someone who is knowledgeable reviewing the contracts. It could be someone who has a legal understanding or at least a good understanding of contractual language. We encourage you to read the language, read the indemnification language and how that pertains to the policy. Read the insurance requirements, because this is our one opportunity to make any changes, to negotiate out, and they may be asking you for things that aren't covered, that you don't have the insurance coverage for. This is also something that, as a Pesher member, is a resource that's available, that I can review these contracts for you, and is at no additional premium that's included. And I review hundreds of contracts a year for our members. When I receive a contract to review, there's a few things that I'm always looking for, and that is narrowing what our exposure is. The rule of thumb is we're going to be responsible for our negligence, and we want them to be responsible for their negligence.